I had thought about living overseas for a while, and there was always kind of something like holding me back, whether it was a girl or a job or lack of money to make a move. And then finally kind of everything lined up. My last job in Canada was working at a craft beer brew pub. And I had kind of bounced around the service industry quite a bit while I was putting myself through school. I was working at different bars and restaurants. And the timing just kind of worked out eventually that it was time to make a move. I'd thought about Japan for a while. I eventually landed on Korea because after doing some research, it seemed like that was the best place to actually save some money, like cost of living versus wages. And then I was there. I was in Korea for 4.5 years. Came here on vacation, kind of fell in love with Saigon, did some calculations, and I was like, I'm gonna be making a little bit less money initially than I would in Korea, but also cost of living is pretty attractive here. And I just decided I'd be happier, even if I was eventually making a little bit less money. And also in Korea, all of the foreigners are either US military or English teachers. Like, that's it. And then coming to Saigon, I was meeting people from all over the world doing different interesting jobs. And I thought, I'll come here and teach first, because that's kind of the way in. But I was in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe I'll figure out what I want to do with my life, like as a real job. And getting paid to drink and sell alcohol was kind of beyond my wildest imagination, but here we are. My name is Mischa Smith, currently working for AJ Wine Trading, a little wine distributor based in Nha Trang, but I live down here in Saigon. As we said, I'm down here in the kind of Pham Viet Chan neighborhood in Binh Tan district. It's a pretty cool, hip, upcoming area in Saigon, like halfway between D1 and D2. And I've been down here for about 5 months. Prior to that, I was in Tao Dien for about 8 years. Before that, I moved around a little bit as well. Yeah, to get an apartment this size in Toronto, where I lived last, would be, I wouldn't even know these days, but the rent would be at least twice as much in Canada as it is here. I live here in this little studio apartment. I pay $11.5 million per month in rent, a little bit more for electricity, utilities, which is pretty reasonable. It's a little bit cheaper than my old apartment, which was in Tao Dien, and it was a lot bigger. It was just more space than I needed. Hey guys, come on in. Got it online for a great price. This is where I sit and either watch my Netflix or work on my laptop. See, the kitchen's a little bit small, but we get some stuff done in there. Bathroom's over there, over here. Bedroom's here. So you get some nice light during the day. We're right on the canal here. Zoo's across the way. Jack White poster from his first show in Saigon. Shout out to Loud Minority. This is where we get stuff done. Oh, in the bathroom. That's where I clean myself. Transportation, I don't pay anything. I have a Grab account with my work, and I have my own little scooter that I drive around if I'm not going to be drinking too much. That I don't rent, I own it. It's a piece of junk, but it gets me around. Working in alcohol sales, I would say that alcohol is my biggest expense, but I also get some of that paid for by work, as long as it's a legitimate business expense and not just having fun with the boys. And you mentioned the food. The food in Vietnam is amazing, and you can get local food here so cheap. So if you want to save money, if you want to not spend a lot, you won't get tired of Vietnamese food. It's so good and it's so different. That was one of the big improvements I found coming from Korea. Korean food's not really my favorite. I miss it sometimes, certain dishes, but Vietnamese food is much more varied. There's more options. And like I said, if you just want to eat Vietnamese food every day, you can get by on a pretty good budget. Only 10,000 for carrots. A little fruit, pineapple, no price listed. Yeah. Broccoli, only 15. It's a pretty good deal. What else? Via Hanoi, no price. Probably about 20,000 for tall boy. Cheese. On here we got the beer prices listed. Yeah, 17,000 for a 330 ml Heineken. Huda. Best Vietnamese beer outside of craft. Best local lager, only 15,000 for 330 ml Huda. That's a great deal. Oh yeah, what did I say? 21,000 for the Bia Hoi tall boy. Yeah, crazy affordable. Look at that, 15,000 for a bag of kimchi. It'd be twice as much at least in Korea. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 eggs for 37,000 VND. And how much those eggs would cost in America? A lot. A lot. Topical. Sure.
Đã nhận 235
QR code on the phone, nice and easy.
4 đồng.
Come on. Oh yeah. So yeah, nice bag of groceries for 235,474 dong, which is about $10, $11 US, depending on the exchange rate. Okay. Let's go. I've been here 12 years, so obviously it's changed quite a bit. You don't notice as much when you're living here day to day. Like, so I have some friends who have left Vietnam and then come back years later and like, oh my God, it's changed so much. And it has for sure. It's just when you're in it, like you don't notice it as much. But definitely, I mean, as far as just like my own job, like the F&B scene here has changed quite a bit. When I first moved here, there were very few kind of Western style restaurants, and now there's, I mean, tons. You know, it's staggering. Too many. Yeah, there's too much competition. I agree. But yeah, it's seeing kind of that F&B scene level up in the time I've been here has been really encouraging. I have a lot of friends who are in the restaurant industry, you know, chefs, owners, bartenders, and yeah, I remember when I first came how hard it was to get any kind of like decent service at a lot of establishments, and now to see especially the mixology scene, like the bartending, just how sophisticated it is, and how many different bars have awesome bartenders making different interesting cocktails. It's insane how much it's changed in the 12 years I've been here. So this is it, the Birdie Bar, my local. It's everyone's favorite bar in this neighborhood. It's been around for quite a long time. It's busy every night. Then they open early, so if you're a day drinker, you can get it in. Got the menu here. Everything's about 150 to 200,000 per cocktail, which is about $6 to $8 US. During happy hour every day, everything's 30% off. So yeah, it's a great bar. The prices are very reasonable for the quality. The bartenders here are awesome. They make great drinks. They're definitely a lot more expensive cocktail bars in District 1. And the quality doesn't always match the price that you pay. But here, it's great value across the board. You can always find people at Birdie, like Vietnamese, foreigners. It's always packed every night. It's really small down there, so it's hard to get a seat at the bar. But that's where everyone likes to hang out. And yeah, more often than not, you'll run into people that you know here if you spend enough time. Yeah, the owner's Japanese. Ken, great guy. He used to be here all the time, and then his wife had a baby, so he's at home being a family man more often now than he's out here with us. But he still comes by once in a while. And yeah, great guy, great personality, and yeah, he's got great stuff. So he doesn't need to be here all the time. People ask me that a lot, especially friends back home who have never been here, who don't. They're like, what? Well, like, because I do gush a lot about how much I love living in Saigon. And I guess I keep coming back to just like the energy of the city. Like it's not something that I can really put into words. It's just like, and a lot of my friends who have come to visit, they're like, oh, I get it. Like as soon as they get here, they're like, oh, I see. Okay. Like it's just this feeling that you get while you're here. It's so exciting. It's such a vibrant city. You know, when I moved to Korea, I still had quite a bit of debt from school. I was able to pay all that off. And yeah, so when I came to Vietnam, I didn't have any debts anymore. And yeah, like I said, if you want to, you can save money here for sure. Like when I first came, I was teaching at 2 different schools. I had 2 part-time jobs instead of 1 full-time, just to allow myself some flexibility. And I was working like 6 days a week, but some of those days it was like a 1-2 hour class in the evening. So it's not like it wasn't a tough schedule, and I was able to save a bit of money. And then yeah, I've bounced around a few different sales jobs now, and the compensation's a little bit different. But yeah, I'm definitely more financially secure living here than I was back home, drowning in debt and struggling to pay the bills. I wouldn't say that exactly. Like I mentioned, when I first moved here, I had 2 different part-time jobs. Since then, I've been full-time with the same company, different companies, but always full-time since then. So, I mean, I'm sure there are side hustles that exist that you could do. Working in sales, I do have some flexibility in my schedule. But also I feel obligated to work hard every day and, bring value to the company and try to make as many sales as possible. So since I stopped teaching, I haven't really divided my time with different jobs at any point. I've always focused on the main one. Canada's a pretty peaceful place, so it's not so much that there's more peace and security here. It's about the same. It's a lot less cold. That's
yeah. I was asking about the weather.
Yeah, I remember when I told my grandmother I was moving to Vietnam. She's like, "Oh, why Vietnam?" I'm like, "It's summer all year round in Saigon." And she's like, "Oh, you'll get sick of that." I'm like, "No, I won't. I'm not one of these people who are like, oh, I miss skiing. I miss the winter. I hate the winter. I'm actually going back to Canada for a week this month, and I'm not looking forward to January in Ottawa. It's gonna be really cold." Oh, I don't think I've lost anything. I'm like certain food, like when my friends go back to, anytime a friend goes back to Canada, they ask, "What do you want me to bring back for you?" I'm like, Reese's dark chocolate peanut butter cups. I'm like, that's it. It's the only thing I really miss from home that I can't get here, and that's incredibly specific. So no, I don't think I've lost anything. No, it's like it's an enriching lifestyle. It's an enriching experience to live in Vietnam.
So it's a win. It's a win. Like,
oh yeah,
win.
Yeah.
Do you ever miss your family or like?
Yeah, so for sure, that's. My brother has 3 kids, so not being able to be a part of their lives it's really my only regret about living overseas. But then also, you gotta live your own life. They'll be okay. I'm going back to see them soon. So. I think most of my friends would tell you that I haven't really changed much. Obviously, yeah, the circumstances have changed. My job has changed. My lifestyle. Maybe a little bit, but no, I wouldn't say that Vietnam has like changed me or how I see success. It's just, I like going to a job that I'm happy to do, and like I grew up in and around restaurants. My father was a chef. My grandfather's a restaurateur. Most of my family is in F&B, so it was kind of natural for me to like talking to chefs and bar owners. Like it's second nature to me. So it's one of the reasons I'm effective at my job. But no, I wouldn't say Vietnam has changed how I view success or anything like that. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, people ask me all the time, like, again, friends back home, like, are you going to stay there forever? Are you going to leave? And I've always said, like, if I find somewhere that I like better than here, then I will probably move there. But so far in my travels, I have not found anywhere else in the world that I like better than Saigon. I used to live in South Korea, and I initially came here on vacation to visit some friends that I had met while living over there in Korea. And I just kind of fell in love with Saigon. I mean, like, just the energy of the city, the people, the food, the nightlife, everything was just very exciting to me. And I tell the story. I was here for 2 weeks and I had this goofy grin on my face the whole time. I was just so happy. So yeah, I went back, finished my contract in Korea, and then I moved here. And yeah, I haven't looked back since. I started as an ESL teacher back then about 12 years ago. And then about a year and a half in, I started working for Pastor Street Brewing Company, first as a bartender and then as the sales manager. And yeah, I've been selling alcohol ever since. It was surprising to me how easy it was to adapt and kind of get used to things, especially the people here. Like, just comparing Vietnamese people to Korean people, just Vietnamese people seem more welcoming, more friendly to foreigners, to outsiders. Especially here in Saigon, like everyone's so friendly, so nice, and helpful. It was sometimes hard to get Korean people to actually help and care about anyone over there who wasn't born there. So, no, I love Vietnam, and I love Vietnamese people. The traffic police suck. Like there are things about Vietnam that I could complain about if you made me, but I don't think about them too much. Like I love it here. It's pretty great. I had a motorbike accident one time. I was driving home late at night, and I like nodded off. I was way too tired. I shouldn't have been driving, and I kind of like came to suddenly, and then like accidentally accelerated way too fast, and I came off my bike. Luckily, I didn't hit anything. There was nothing around. But there was these three older Vietnamese guys on the side of the road, and they jumped out of their seats. They came over. They picked up my motorbike, helped me up. Saw I was bleeding pretty badly from my elbow, and one of the guys just put me on. One of the guys just put me on the back of my bike and drove my bike with me on it to the nearest emergency room. And maybe something like that would happen in Canada. I don't know, but it was incredibly helpful. Obviously, at the time, I don't know if I would have been okay to drive myself the rest of the way, or even if I would have known where the closest hospital would have been at that time. So yeah, I guess that was the most dramatic time that I needed a Vietnamese person to help me out, and they came through. Yeah, I spend too much money. I'm not the most financially careful person. I get a little squirrely if I have too much money in the bank and I feel like I need to spend it. Yeah, I guess the biggest. There was one job that wasn't going great, and they had kind of some of the deliverables that they had set for me were not as achievable as I had thought. Yeah, there was one job when I was spending more than I was making every month, and I probably stayed there for a little bit too long and that would have been the biggest financial mistake I've made, was just not finding a different job earlier. Do the research on any company that you're going to work for, and make sure that you trust the people that you're going to work for. And that when I first moved here, there was a Viet Q guy who I had worked with in Korea, and he sold me his old scooter. And when I told one of our coworkers, a Vietnamese guy, how much I'd paid for the bike, he was shocked, because I just trusted the guy. Turns out he overcharged me by quite a lot for this junky old bike. And I just didn't ask anyone, because I thought he was my friend, and turns out he wasn't.
Okay.
And,
Not all local friends are friends. Like,
well, he's American, Vietnamese heritage, but grew up in America, so no offense to my American friends, but I should have run that one by one of my Vietnamese friends before taking the plunge. But live and learn. Initially, I was making less than I was in Korea, but now it's more. So yeah, it's not. But yes, for sure. Like I said, when I first moved here, I had made that decision that I was okay to make a little bit less money to be happier, and I made the right choice. I'm definitely happier living here than I was in Korea. And I'm not denigrating Korea. It was not a bad place to live, and the benefits are really nice for ESL teachers. They pay for your flights, your apartment, which they definitely don't do here. But yeah, no, I enjoy it more here.
you don't rule it either.
I don't see many big changes coming for me in the next year. I've just started this new job a few months ago, around the same time that I moved to this neighborhood. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's a small company, but helping it grow here in Saigon, and also eventually in Hanoi and in central Vietnam as well. Yeah, I don't see much change a year from now. If I had to prognosticate about 5 years from now, I mean, it depends how everything goes. I got a couple things that I'm kind of hoping will come through within the next year or two, and if those do, I'll have even more financial flexibility than I do now. And yeah, the long stated goal has been to open my own place here in Saigon somewhere. You mentioned you spoke to Chad earlier today. He has strongly urged me not to open my own place because of how hard it is. But no, yeah, I think for a while now, I've had kind of pegged as a retirement, like semi-retirement goal, is to open my own little cocktail bar. Just work there every night, and it sounds paradoxical, but like, I think I would drink less if I had my own bar, because I'd be in charge of it, and
if you drink too much, you're not going to make a profit.
Exactly. Yeah. No, when I first started at Pasteur Street, I was bartending there before I did the sales job, and it was some of my friends would come in and they'd kind of remark on like, "Oh, you're really taking this job seriously?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a job. They're paying me. I'm not just getting drunk behind the bar. I'm serving customers."
What advice would you have?
I would just tell them to come, if possible, to secure a job before they get here instead of waiting until they get here. That's not exactly what I did. I started by doing a teacher training course here, and then the school that I did the course at was the school that I ended up working at. So it was a pretty smooth landing for me. So yeah, know what you want to do, know what the potential is for the job that you want to do, and try to make sure you've got something before you get here, just so you're not spending the first few months, just job hunting and not sure where your next paycheck's going to come from. Oh wow. Drink a little bit less, spend a little bit less money. My diet used to be really bad, and I was in pretty bad shape for a little while there. So, yeah, eat better, drink less. Drink more water.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Exactly. That's the advice I would give to my younger self.